of one's own resources based on individual choices of how and to whom to give. Redistributing wealth does not promote a spirit of community. Ronald Reagan also said, no matter how big and powerful government gets and the many services it provides, it can never take the place of volunteers. Freezing spending on social services is not politically correct, and frankly, it's not fun either. Who wouldn't want to approve ever-increasing funding for such causes as the Lone Star Circle of Care and the Boys and Girls Club? These are great organizations doing great work for residents of our city. But it's not our money we're spending, and I was not elected to make decisions that are politically correct or easy. Council's job is to make decisions in the best interest of the city and all of its residents, and that is the way I try to govern. Regarding fiscal issues, last year the council approved a balanced budget with no tax increase and no cuts in city services or employee pay. Prior to my arrival, it was apparently an unknown fact that from fiscal year 1998 to fiscal year 2008, city property taxes grew at triple the rate of inflation. I was proud to have been part of a council majority that insisted on balancing the budget last year with no tax increase. Although the property tax offers many benefits to a taxing entity, it also is a blunt instrument inflicting itself regardless of a property owner's ability to pay. We should be sensitive to the burden of property taxes on working and unemployed residents, especially in difficult economic times. I am concerned that this city faces a serious challenge to its long-term fiscal viability. Georgetown has by far a larger portion of its property tax base frozen for the over age 65 exemption. A larger portion of its property tax frozen for the over age 65 exemption than any city in Texas. As the proportion of this frozen revenue source grows, the city will be forced to find alternative sources to fund essential city services. Attempting to address this challenge by simply shifting an ever-increasing tax burden to those whose property taxes are not frozen will lead to fiscal and demographic decline by discouraging younger people from buying homes here, threatening the city with an inescapable fiscal and demographic spiral. In addition to social services spending and the achievement of the balanced budget with no tax increase, another issue that arose during my tenure was pension benefits. In my day job, I promote the preservation of pension benefits for employees of state and local government. Above all else, a pension plan must be sustainable, and affordability is an essential part of sustainability. The council's action to adjust pension benefits for city employees was prudent and appropriate because it promoted the sustainability of the city's pension plan. And now for a few final thoughts. Effective policy making requires that council members challenge assumptions, ask hard and sometimes unpleasant questions, and demand unvarnished responses. Silent consent and routine affirmation are not healthy features of governing board behavior. Sound policy making also demands that residents be informed of the issues they are voting on. Voters deserve to know what separates the candidates, why candidates are running, and why they believe they should be elected. I am hopeful that future candidates for office in Georgetown will be asked hard and critical questions about such matters. When our nation was founded, Thomas Jefferson envisioned a government overseen by regular people, farmers, doctors, tradespeople, who left their jobs to do their part in making sure the government continued to function in a manner that reflects the will of the people and that it is transparent and accountable. It has been my honor and privilege to play a small part in fulfilling Jefferson's grand vision of this great nation by serving on the Georgetown City Council. And now it is Danny Meg's turn to help oversee our city. I am certain that Danny will serve his district with distinction and integrity, and I am thrilled to have someone who has described himself as a Reagan Republican and conservative succeed me in this seat. And so, I am not saying goodbye today, because I am not leaving. I will continue to live here, to be involved, and to pay attention to our government. Rather than goodbye, the better words are au revoir, which means until we meet again. God bless you and our city. Thank you.
before we move to the next item, which is the swearing in of Mr. Meggs for this position, council has advised me that we did not